I feel like can we skip past the credits? Usually we do a retrospective here, but like we've just started, so it's too early for a retrospective.
And also, we can't do a retrospective to shit we don't remember.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just power through. We can only hope.
Yeah, we'll just go into thing, but yeah.
We can only hope that the prior content is watchable. Maybe it will be. Maybe it won't be. Maybe we do bad things. We'll find out.
Well, now it'll be Return of the King now. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Return of the King. It's January now. It's 2021. Time travel.
Yes, the wonders of the internet. The Bard and the Doctor backed again. A fellowship. Like, are we more like Frodo? Are we more like Frodo and Sam, or are we more like the whole fellowship together?
Which one of us has to be Frodo? I think we're more like you're Sam and I'm Gollum.
I'll take that. Samwise is like the most underrated member of the Fellowship.
I know, right? And Gollum the most shitey. Well, he's not even a member of the Fellowship.
Yeah. Is Gandalf sleeping there with the Palantir?
With his eyes open as well.
With his eyes open. Although his eyes are shut in this Lego iteration, of course, in the films themselves. They've skipped over the wonderful drinking scene with Legolas and Gimli in a drinking contest.
Did you not notice how all of the drinking stuff's been cut from this game?
Of
because
course.
This is a children's game.
I remember back in...
And you can't show Gimli getting blasted and going, it's the dwarves that go swimming with little hairy women. Which is the worst line. And I would like to think that's the reason that entire scene was cut from the final version.
It's a deeply disturbing line. What's the thing where like he's talking to Eowyn? It's like he gives a line that you see. It's true, you don't see many dwarf women. And in fact, many of them are mistaken for dwarf men. And Aragorn's in the background. He mismimes. It's the beards. It's like one of the few comedic scenes in Two Towers.
I mean, all of the comedic scenes of the whole trilogy basically is either Merry and Pippin or Gimli. Yeah,
I think it works. Again,
I think so too.
These are not comedic films, but yeah. Can I go on my rant about like the amount of men that Theoden's about to pluck out of seemingly nowhere?
Yeah, here we go. I've heard this before, but
yes,
right, go.
It's only occurred to me very recently, right? So he's got like 200 men plus invincible poet kings and an elf and like a bunch of those other elves who turn up to defend Helm's Deep, right? But then a week later, he goes to Dunharrow and 6,000 riders on Rohan pop up as if from nowhere. Like, where were those 6,000 guys during the siege of Helm's Deep?
Any blokes around Rohan that have horses?
Well, like, that's their whole thing, isn't it? Every man in Rohan has a horse. That's their whole
Exactly,
shtick.
hence why there's 6,000 of them. But it's still less than half of what he'd hoped for.
I get that, right? But that implies that Theoden believes, and insofar as Theoden's a semi-competent king, like, there's at least 12,000 fighting men in his kingdom, but only 200 turned up to get to Helm's Deep. Like, they were walking
in fairness, the time scale, the turnaround on Helm's Deep was pretty fast.
I mean, it takes them at least a week to walk from Edoras to Helm's Deep, right? Couldn't he have, like...
No, it takes 3 days, and Man and Beast must arrive with the strength to fight. Oh, no, wait, that's to Pelennor.
That's to ride to the Pelennor Field, yeah. So let's assume let's lowball it then. Let's say it takes 3 days for them to leave Edoras and lead the column of refugees to Helm's Deep, right? They didn't pass any other dudes of fighting age, even though there are, seemingly to Theoden's mind, 12,000 of those kicking around the kingdom. That seems odd to me.
Yeah, fair.
I just don't buy it.
I'm with you, I think, on this.
Oh, the critical path.
Oh, it's Minas Morgul next.
Oh, Minas Morgul's very cool.
Yeah. It's a shame none of these Lego sets really exist.
Yeah, I would definitely like construct a Minas Morgul.
Yeah.
It's the Witch King's city, isn't it, Minas Morgul?
Yeah. Because it was the other main city of Gondor.
Yeah, it was a twin city with...
Yes, so Minas
Tirith.
Yeah, by that point, so Minas Tirith was called Minas Arnor, which means the Tower of the Sun, and this was Minas Ithil, the Tower of the Moon. But then when this was taken over, they called it Minas Morgul, and they changed the name of Minas Arnor to Minas Tirith, which means the Tower of Guard, to say, hey, look, we're watchful against Mordor.
Very good knowledge.
I've read a lot of those books. I'm a very sad man.
One thing I'd regret that he never really incorporated much into the film, I know that he appears, like, Dol Armoth is a really conceptually cool part of Gondor that we never hear much about, so...
Yeah, because Prince Imrahil does not make it into the films, yeah.
I think he does. He's the guy who carries Faramir's body up to Denethor, which we might see later on. Maybe he'll be in this very game.
I think he has, like, no lines or anything then.
Yeah, that's who he is, because he's meant to be, like, half-elf at this point, basically.
Yeah. That makes sense.
He's descended from elves. So, like, for the viewership who don't know, Dol Armoth is like a sister tower, a smaller and lesser city of Gondor, renowned for its swan knights.
Yeah, it's like right down to the south, isn't it?
Yeah, they're great.
Shit. No. Oh, you bellend Gondor? Gollum.
But specifically, they have knights who are like in swan heraldry.
Yeah, the Knights of the Silver Swan.
Yeah,
They were a great unit in the Lord of the Rings, The Battle for Middle-earth 2, The Rise of the Witch King, which for quite some time had the record for being one of the longest game names in history.
Well, that's interesting. Was this like an RTS game?
Yeah, and it was surprisingly good. I really liked it.
A lot of the
But it had
RTS
like
games seems to have like I could see there's some mileage in that.
It had a DLC that basically where you played as the Witch King and the forces of Arnor, basically like overtaking the old Northern kingdoms.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was actually really cool. Right, let's try and hit that. Come on. No. What the?
It's worth noting that that's who Aragorn is ultimately descended, not from the Witch King, but like his...
From the people of Arnor, yeah, because he's the Dunedain are from those, like, yeah, from the old Northern kingdoms.
So they're exiles from Gondor, but they settle in the Northern Kingdoms, I'm pretty sure. Or not exiles, but...
Yeah, because Arnor was the name of the Northern Kingdom, and like Weathertop was one of its things. The old watchtower of Amansul. Oh, we're very sad people.
We're very, very nerdy.
How do we use these things? You could like grapple onto them or something, couldn't you?
Could we as Frodo? I think
so.
We had a bow. What do I have? Oh,
yeah, we had a grappling hook.
I've got the Vial of Galadriel. Look at that.
Yeah, you can. It may be a light for you in dark places.
When all other lights go out. Yeah.
Very nice. Right, now we've actually opened a way. I say we, I mean I.
Does Sam have a sword, or does he just have his frying pan?
I think he just has his frying pan.
It's
You're Frodo, though.
I know that.
Just checking.
It's when he fights the orcs in Curathungol.
Yeah, I think he has Sting at that point, doesn't he?
Sam does, yeah.
Yeah.
It seems that...
Yeah, not that way, not that way!
Excellent. 10 out of 10.
I need you up here, the spooky light I can't get through. We need the Vial of Galadriel.
How do I
You have to jump up on that brit. Right, we've got to do some platforming here, and then you jump onto... What the fuck happened to you there? You've got controller this time, and there's nothing
platforming, my one weakness.
Now come towards the camera a bit more to make that jump. Oh, okay, actually, you made that way easier than I did. No, you need to light up in there with the Vial.
Do you know the Elven that he says when he...
I do not. Something and Kalimar.
Yeah.
That's like, and I can't remember what it means because I'm a terrible person.
I mean, shame on you. How dare you not know that?
I should indeed feel that shame, yeah.
This very obscure bit of Lord of the Rings lore. How dare you not know? What does our Elven cloak do?
I think it makes you invisible. There you go. There you go.
Oh,
I don't remember having ever seen that before, so either we didn't see that last time or we did.
Does that happen with the Easterlings? That's already happened in the films, right?
Yes, yeah, because that's when they go to the Black Gate and find that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Right. We clearly can't quite make that yet, can we not?
I don't think so.
Cool, let's explore around some more then.
One of the cool things about the Black Gate that I remember from the novels is that Frodo realizes that he looks at the guards on top of the Black Gate, and one of the reasons they can get so close is that most of the orcs who are guarding it are actually looking in the way.
Yeah.
So like they're not actually worried about anyone from Gondor attacking Mordor. They're trying to keep all of Sauron's servants in Mordor to keep an eye on them.
Which is kind of horrifying.
Yeah, not even orcs want to serve
the old
Sauron.
Rorschach twist. You're locked in here with me.
I mean, the orcs must know they're the baddies, right? I mean,
Hans, are we the baddies?
Well, it's never really discussed the psychology of orcs, but they must know that it's.
Except for we know that they have a concept of a menu, which is fascinating in its own way.
Yeah, I wonder what orc society is like. Also, they seem to be exclusively male. How do they make more orcs? Do they just like?
Oh, I need you here, in this bit.
Oh, okay. Did they
there
just?
We go.
I mean, maybe orcs reproduce asexually. Who knows?
Well, in fairness, we see Uruk-hai at least being made like from
cloning pits, basically.
Yeah, like weird. Yeah. What the fuck is this?
So it's specifically mentioned that like none of Sauron's orcs are as big or as strong as the Uruk-hai.
Even though it's very unclear what Uruk-hai are.
Yes, but
in a solid way.
He's bred like super orcs who are comparable, so they're not as tall, but they are broad. They're kind of like broad-shouldered.
Yeah.
It's unclear how he breeds those. They just kind of turn up in Return of the King.
Just by foul craft. Oh, yeah. Right, we need some more shit somewhere. Is this what I need? Oh, shit, don't we Gollum? No.
I mean, no one wants to be Gollum. Not even Gollum wants to be Gollum.
I mean, that you could not have come up with a more accurate summary of
Gollum's
huge
character.
Parts of Lord of the Rings, yeah.
That's what the whole split personality is all about.
Yeah. Right, so...
Or technically, split personality is partly a misnomer. Technically, that disorder is dissociative identity disorder.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know it's not in a lot of. Yes, I remember that scene from the film where they fucking ripped down one of the statues.
And none of the orcs heard anything.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we're using our stealth mode, Sam.
Yeah, I remember there's that whole thing of like that for some reason in the popular mindset, like split personalities is called schizophrenia, which is completely inaccurate and always has been.
Yeah, categorically untrue.
But that you get that in a lot of stuff.
Did you watch
Stephen King?
Did you watch perchance the movie Split with James McAvoy that came out last year, 2 years ago?
I did not. Any good?
It's deeply dehumanizing to people with dissociative identity disorder. But McAvoy's performance is incredible.
He always gives a good performance, though. In fairness,
he is a future possible candidate for Greatest Living Scotsman. Is James McAvoy?
Well, another reason for you to watch the BBC adaptation, BBC/HBO adaptation of His Dark Materials.
I will. I would actually like to watch.
Yes, he is Lord Asriel, and he's great.
Ooh, that I could see. Is this the first?
So he's also not, as in a lot of things, he is also not Scottish.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Is this the first time we've seen Lego Witch King in?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, obviously we saw him on Weathertop, but that doesn't count.
Yes. I just love the design of the Witch King. He just looks really cool.
Yeah. I think I can see why they wanted to make it from like a what you need to do in a visual media perspective. Obviously, they had to make him look different from the other Nazgul to stand out.
Yes.
But also, apparently one of the issues they had is early designs of him just looked like too much like Sauron.
Oh really?
And people watching it got basically confused who weren't with the books. So if you play like the Return of the King video game, which as I've discussed, I don't recommend you do because it's not aged well. But that game was basically they released that game when the films came out, so that game was developed like as the films were still being developed, and that has the original design for the Witch King in where he's got like a big like pointy bucket helm.
Oh, cool.
It looks almost like the kind of like Sauron's helmet mixed with like the towers from the Black Gate, like that kind of architecture as his helmet. But he does look a lot like Sauron. It's quite surprising.
I don't know why I've always been like, I really just like the Witch King as a character, and like the design on him is really cool, and like, the Nazgul are awesome, but he's the most awesome Nazgul, and yeah, I just like the Witch King.
Yeah, I can see that. For a character obviously you know nothing about.
Yeah, even though
he's not the best. We all know that the best villain in Return of the King is Grond, Hammer of the Underworld.
We got
is the greatest evil character in this film.
Yeah, I hope that we get Lego Grond. Like, it's just what a ridiculous thing to bring to a siege.
Bring out the wolf's head.
It's so good.
That's very good. It's utterly ridiculous. Like, how many orcs could they have given armor to if they hadn't made that ridiculous battering ram?
Oh, I love every moment of it. I won't hear a goddamn word said against.
It's brilliant. But like, it's the only positive thing in Sauron's army. Everyone else just fucks up constantly.
I need you over here with the light.
It's the only thing that does what it's supposed to do, which is breach. Also, like,
but that was it's also even it's in the book, it's like a combination of Grond and also just the Witch King doing some dark nonsense.
Yeah, which Gandalf is allegedly powerless to stop him from doing in the books.
Yeah, because it's like, I remember the line that's like, thrice the great hammer rang and thrice the black captains boomed forth. He's never called the Witch King in the book.
He's the Black Captain, is he?
Which doesn't sound great nowadays.
No. See our earlier episodes for Lord of the Rings and its inherent racism, which
yes.
we need not revisit that. Also, fun. Well, I mean, I'm sure we'll discuss it at the time. But fun fact about Grond, like Grond is named after the evil monster that kills Guy Galad during the Battle of the Last Alliance.
I thought Gil-galad just set on fire from being too near to Sauron was the deal there.
No, I thought he was killed by Grond, which is like, Grond is like another nasty spirit like Shelob or a Balrog or whatever, and I'm pretty sure it takes the form of a giant wolf and just mauls him to death.
Oh, no, that's not Gil-galad, that's someone else older in the Silmarillion. I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
It's not Finrod, but it's one of those who I can't remember anymore because it's been too long since I read those books and actually remembered all the dumbass names in it.
All right.
I mean, all the names in it, obviously. Not the... Oh, shit.
Could you grapple up
there?
I'm
on it. I'm just stupid. I can't even claim drunkenness this time. I've only had a pint and a half. I'm just thick.
Oh, really? I mean, we should definitely drink more because as we've discussed, clearly that leads to excellent content we can definitely remember.
I've got a can of Belgian beer, which is called Van Honsenbroek Castile Rouge, and it's 8%, and so that's going straight in me soon. Once I finish this grapefruit and guava IPA, which is as utterly disgusting as it sounds.
Now, wouldn't you much rather have a mind-sharpening, ice-cold glass of Cointreau? And now we can edit in some fun character from Lord of the Rings holding a glass of Cointreau.
I did a fun Gollum one for the first part.
I saw that. That made me very happy.
Oh, there'll be more chances, don't worry. I think we may have done some Cointreau pictures during the forgotten levels.
Oh, really?
Oh, there's webs here, so we need shit to throw at them or something.
Oh, yes.
So I can't climb on the fish platform with those in the way.
That makes sense. A precursor of what is to come, given that those are spider webs.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is just kind of rippling when we hit it, which makes me think we can't get through it quite yet.
I think we drop something on it, or we burn it, or we interact with it in a way that isn't just pounding it with our tiny hobbit fists.
Both of that sounds good.
Oh, wait. Can I destroy this with Sting, perhaps?
Oh, maybe. Is Sting special enough?
Nope,
That's a hard no.
Sting is not special enough. This chain...
Oh, you have, like, extra armor as well, because you have the
Mithril.
Frodo's Mithril vest.
Oh, you can just hit them with your sword. It's that simple.
Well, at least it didn't take us long to solve that problem.
It's good to know that a significant amount of our idiocy is just idiocy. There is a drunkenness element, but even when we're not drunk, we're still just not great at this.
I don't think any of us can claim that, to be good at these games.
No, quite. Well, I'm building what appears to be a seesaw here.
A lever. Give me a lever and I can move the world.
Did you say lever and then correct it to lever?
I mean, I've heard it pronounced both ways.
I know, but one by English people and one by American people.
Oh, is that the distinction there? Oh, there you go.
I think so. I think of lever as being very American. Do you want to hit that bush? Because that's 4 bushes out of 5, which is pretty sweet.
There's a joke in there somewhere.
Hey! Very good. Right, can you do something like glowing bit there? That.
Oh.
No, not that. The closer one.
The closer
there you
go. No. I need Sam. Okay, let's get Sam up here.
Oh. It's nice that if you can interact with something, it tells you who you need there.
It just, all in all, these are much more elegantly designed than
there's a lot of like quality of life improvements that just make the game more playable. Really.
I've also discovered, remember that Mithril trowel we forged way back a month ago?
Yeah.
Well, we can access it anytime we want by going to the treasure. Oh no, we can't.
Wow.
You know what? I take it all back. We can't do shit.
Well, Gollum doesn't even have an inventory. In fairness, that's because he's wearing a loincloth. So
yeah, like his weird, like loincloth thong thing that he's wearing. It's nasty.
I mean, it's better than naked Andy Serkis crawling around the place. Let's be honest.
I agree, but you would think like Frodo and Sam, who come from like a society that has clothes, would like give him a pair of trousers or something.
Do you think they're carrying spare trousers?
They seem to be wearing the same clothes all the way through. Like,
yeah, that's what I mean.
You think maybe like when they go to
Share the load.
Share the load.
There it is.
Like,
Uncomfortable Lego close-up on Sean Astin's face.
Yeah, I meant to say, of all the unintentionally...
Right, holy shit, I got a story to tell.
Please.
How much do you know about Sean Astin's parenthood?
Absolutely nothing.
And the fact he has 3 fathers.
Whoa! Well, let's pause this game and you can break that story out. Go. Tell me more.
Basically, his... Right, I'm going to look this up on Wikipedia to get it right, because it's a whole thing. But his officially his father, but it's not his biological father, his adoptive father is John Astin, also an actor who played Gomez Addams in the original Addams Family TV series.
Really?
Yep.
Incredible.
But he's not his biological father. Here we go.
I mean, I'm pausing the game so you can look up this fascinating piece of trivia.
Hold on, take. Basically, there were 2 people who could have been his father, as in they slept with his mother, who was also like an actress or something like that, at the same time, and they didn't really know which one it was going to be. And then by the time that was never really resolved, and by the time he was born, she'd married John Astin, and he just adopted the kid. And he's definitely not his biological father.
Wow, raising a child that you know is not yours. That's a big thing to do.
But he also knew that from they never bullshitted Sean Astin about it. He knew the whole time that there are 2 other people who are possibly one of whom was his biological father, and he was and remains on good terms with all 3.
What a lovely man. What a wholesome story.
I think they did subsequently find out genetically which was his actual biological father.
Okay. I mean, how many people could claim that they have 3 father figures and they get on excellently with all of them? What?
Yeah, and apparently they go on all right with each other. It's fascinating.
Oh, like, this is just so unlikely as to beggar belief.
I know, it's great.
So here we go. So, like, should we talk about Shelob? As I remember, like, in Return of the King, this scene is genuinely quite scary. Like, Peter Jackson, an accomplished horror director.
And also, Peter Jackson, huge arachnophobe.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he basically just channeled that in these scenes that he would just basically look at it and say, nah, it's not quite freaking me out enough.
Outstanding. What a man. I think I should just walk around with a vial of Galadriel, really, shouldn't I?
I mean, that is what happens in this scene in the film, certainly. Oh, there we go.
Are you a record?
So I do have somewhere, I don't know where, but I have a Lego Shelob, like a real one.
Do you really?
That it has like a wire that comes out from its abdomen, and you can hang it off lampshades and stuff.
See, I have lots of Star Wars Lego, like lots and lots of Star Wars Lego. I never bought any of the Lego Lord of the Rings kits.
There also wasn't much.
Oh, okay.
To be honest, there wasn't as much I would have expected, because it seems obvious, especially given they did a game about it.
Strange. You'd think they would do like kits that even just tie in with this game. Like loads of kids, obviously not us, we're too old.
Exactly.
But like, loads of kids must have grown up playing this.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Oh, can you come and give me some light over here when you get a chance? I will say, I kind of hated it at first, but one of the advantages of the dynamic split screen, I don't know how it is for other people to watch, it means I can find my way towards you easily, because I just kind of go towards
the split.
The rift, yeah.
It takes some getting used to. I think it's an interesting gameplay feature, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm curious how viewers have found it to watch, because it might be horrific.
Oh, speaking of, like, games that like I used to really, really enjoy. Do you remember
Can you bring the vial over here just before you speak back
sure.
to get the spiders to fuck off?
Oh, is that how that works? Okay.
Yeah, they were being shitey, to use the technical term.
I'm right in thinking that like Shelob is not in fact a monster. She's another one of these spirits who has chosen.
Yeah, she's
chosen to take the form of a spider.
Yeah, so she's related to. She's like a kind of, they call her spawn. We don't really know what that means. Of Ungoliant was a kind of spider spirit that was employed by Morgoth to devour the 2 trees of Valinor.
Oh wow!
And suck all the light out of Valinor forever. And then basically, once the trees were destroyed, the only form in which the light of Valinor still existed was the jewels that were wrought with that light. That is the Silmarils, which is why they were a whole thing.
Morgoth steals them, right? Doesn't he? And then
yes, because he basically coveted the light of the 2 trees.
Okay, and then there's a bunch of elves who have to go and steal them back, effectively.
Pretty much. That's some of the broad strokes of it. But it described, even in Lord of the Rings, it describes Shelob as one of the last spawn of Ungoliant.
Oh yeah, I recall that actually from the books.
Yeah.
It must be Gandalf that talks about her that way.
I guess so. When Faramir's like, they went through Cir of Ungol, and Gandalf's like, what the fuck? That was a bad move.
Yeah, I know that he's like weak and kind of burdened by the ring at this point, and he's finding it harder to make rational decisions. But like Frodo's a bit of a dumbass at this point. Like, do I trust the advice? Option? Well, I mean, does he trust the advice of his friend and gardener, a man who's been loyal to him for years, or the creepy heroin addict that he met like a week ago?
Crawling fish, Jakey.
Exactly. This is like the Mordorian metal, but Sting doesn't seem to have any effect on it.
You need a proper Mithril sword, and I mean sword, not trowel.
like butter knife, huh?
Yeah.
It's the description in the Hobbit movie where Balin describes Sting as a letter opener, and I was like, that just makes me laugh.
Balin was one of the best parts of those films. He was fantastic.
He was very, very good.
And every time you watch it, it's slightly more traumatic because you know what happens to Balin in these films, and it's not good.
He's just atomized in death by a cave troll.
Yeah, exactly. I think we discussed that at the time. Yeah.
No pieces of him remain. He's just obliterated, gone from the earth.
Yeah. Yeah, he was one of the more likable characters in that film. I don't even really remember whether the dwarves had much characterization in the book, because I don't remember that book so well.
They don't really.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought.
There's also like 13 of them, and that's just a lot of dwarves.
Like that's why some people complain with the film. They're like, oh, some dwarves get no screen time, and it's like, you can't give equal screen time to the 14 principal cast members, because that's terrible.
Yeah, it's a bit much. It's a bit.
So I can see why they focus on a couple, and they're the ones they splashed out and got posher actors for.
What do we have here? Oh, it seems to be. Oh, we could throw! Excellent, okay.
Oh, and I can build stuff as well. I'm building a target, I think, up there. I don't know, some kind of bone device. Yeah, so if you want to hit the bone device with that.
Contrary to like what would be happening in the films, Gollum is still helping Frodo because I think he fucks off at this point, doesn't he? And just leaves him
but
to
I
be
think
eaten by the spider
they
monster.
need 2-player characters here. Is the issue.
Yeah,
So-
I understand. It's just that
There's definitely been some creative rewriting of these games to make sure there's always 2 people present. Always 2 there are, no more, no less.
master and apprentice.
Very good.
I like that you are now playing as Gollum, and I am in fact Frodo, as was as we discussed earlier in this very episode.
Yeah.
This is always really creepy for me as well when Gollum's just like creeping around. Again, it's a travesty Andy Serkis doesn't have an Oscar.
I know, he's so good in this.
Can we just give Andy Serkis all of the Oscars ever?
It was amazing. So I recently watched through. I think you mentioned it to me. The what's it called? The behind the scenes of the Phantom Menace.
We're running now.
Thing and one of the things that amazed me is even though they've been developed at the same time, like the massive difference in technology and performance between Jar Jar and Gollum.
It's crazy, isn't it? I didn't realize that they were made roughly the same time. But it's shocking.
I think Phantom Menace was slightly before,
Oh, True Adventure.
but
that's
also
always
this
nice.
this was also in like Lord of the Rings was in development for like a decade essentially, at least in pre-production in various forms. So
That was one of the issues with The Hobbit, wasn't it? Because originally Peter Jackson wanted Guillermo del Toro to make The Hobbit.
Guillermo del
movies.
Toro did do quite a lot of work on it.
Yes, he did. But,
Weird fact about Guillermo del Toro: the man just loves dragons. He's obsessed with them.
That doesn't surprise me. I really like Guillermo del Toro, but apparently one of the issues that he had with Peter Jackson was he was just unwilling to spend a decade of his life in New Zealand making Hobbit movies.
Yeah. Another random Guillermo del Toro fact. I'm full of these today. Is that so? Have you seen Pacific Rim? Yeah.
I love Pacific Rim. It's maybe my,
So you know
my
the wee
top
Japan-
5 favorite films.
So you know the wee Japanese girl in that? Mm-hmm. So the actress was obviously like 10 years old and also didn't speak great English. Like who plays like the child version of her in the flashbacks?
Yes.
And as you can imagine, being from Japan, struggled with the name Guillermo del Toro. That's a nightmare for a Japanese speaker.
Yes.
And so he gave her permission to just call him Totoro-san,
Oh.
which is adorable. And he also looks like Totoro. So.
Hang on a minute. How is this gonna work? Like Frodo hasn't been taken prisoner by the orcs. Like Shelob didn't even stick him.
I think that happens next, doesn't it?
No, like what ought to happen is that he fights Gollum, Shelob knocks him out, Sam turns up, fights Shelob off, and
Wait,
then...
did Sam turn up there?
Yeah, Sam just turned up. He just
Oh.
appeared and said, "I'm on your side,
I really
Mr.
assumed,
Frodo."
I really figured that level was going to end with a Shelob boss fight, and I'm kind of baffled that it didn't. Unless that's up. Oh, I got it. I think that's going to be a Mithril squeak sword. That sounds
Interesting.
rude more than anything else.
So do we think that they've written Sam back in just so that we can fight Shelob as a
I think
as a
it's so
duo?
because
Okay.
obviously Gollum's been fucked off at that point, and we need a second player conceit. So
Okay,
that's my theory.
that makes more sense.
But I assume we're going to cut back to Aragorn first.